so welcome back. Here today, I had a quick video that I wanted to mention just to make sure you are prepared, because guess what? In a little bit of time, we're gonna have a new banner, and that's gonna be Valentine's Day. But guess what? Stay strong. Valentine's Day might have to be skipped unless it's, Valentine's Camilla, then we're screwed. But other than that, there is something at the end of this month that I wanted to just make sure you know, because in the last 2 years, you actually decently got good banners in a way. Not banners, but units, right? For this end of the year festival, we had Melly. Great freaking unit. Broke the game. Don't know if it's coming back from that one. All right, that Melly is just pretty good for PvP, pretty like nuts. There was Escanor, which is also point delete. Like, what the hell is that? Those are 2 units, right? You then went into Freya, which is you steer, you like, so there's that too. So that's 3 units in a row. Now again, I know you may have went bankrupt. You may have went full on in all the way on Freya, or anybody else, depends, right? So there is that. You also had costume shop, costume sale, all that went down, but there is something just to start prepping for and just making sure you got some gems ready, because this year, it might be pretty good, but in comparison to the last festivals we just had, I don't know how they're going to do it, because those festivals were kind of game-changing, and literally, I don't know if this festival unit is going to compare or even compete in any capacity. CC, I don't know. Yeah. Basically, though, the recent units, again, Freya, Mono was before that, we had Escanor, we had all of that, but exactly, so I'll show it to you in the main tab over here. 4 past banners. I'm going to show this to you real quick because I've been on this for a few videos now as we were talking through things. Trillion Meliodas, right? That went into, guess who? Queen Diane. Queen Diane was your February festival. If you look at it now, Queen Diane has aged very well in the way she is still a super freaking useful unit for so many different things. PvE content, she saves you through story when you need a taunt unit. Through regular bird and other activities, she is also very, very good. The current team being run on the new dragon, the new one that beat floor 3 apparently, is a DN unit, so keep that in mind, or is a DN team. But again, she's good for PvP, she's good for everything, okay? That's what happened. Year before that was also a very good unit. It was around February, here we go. Merlin. Both global festivals had 2 outstanding units. Merlin, the original one, is still kind of popular for a lot of teams, and she's a very good unit. For some of the PvE content, she still kind of works. Again, yes, we have a new Merlin, but this Merlin kind of shines in a lot of stuff, so realize that both festivals, both global festivals, were decent freaking units to where they were worth it. If you look at it also, the September festivals, if I were to check that, the September festival here was Gother, I think. Where is it? September Fest. Here we go. There. Gother. Correct? Then for this year's September Festival was... Where is it? I think it was... what is it? Merlin. This year's was Merlin, wherever it is, right? September. So, Merlin. Both, again, you had Gother, a very game-changing kind of unit. Merlin was very good. Her debuff thing for, the unknown team is kind of pinnacle and very, very strong. So, realize that some of these festivals are just good, okay? Again, Esterosa also good. Recently, we had good festival units. So, again, this point gets dried up in that way. But just know that global festivals are pretty good. And, again, just the thing is, the banners suck, and they usually suck after because you just went through such solid banners, being the 3.5 and then the end of year. Those banners were pinnacle, but you won't get that now. So you give me your opinion on this banner. Personally, and back then when I did talk about it, I skipped this banner because it wasn't too great. It was Green Sariel, that was there, so I mean one good unit. You had Magelda, you had Brunhild, so at the time that people wanted that's really good. This wasn't the good mono, this was again Excalibur Arthur people had. Not really. These all are just wasted. So it wasn't the best of banners. Also realize that now, that if you are trying to compare from, again, this happens every year. Yes, you just went through one of the greatest banners of the year, okay? It's going to happen that the next banner is not going to be too great, but I wonder how they're going to hold up. They've been putting a lot of Ragnarok, so just by putting some Ragnarok units on this banner, not Freya, but other Ragnarok units, you could get a selling point there. There is Tarmiel, and Tarmiel is pretty good. There is, if they want to, which most likely catastrophe units will also jump on. If they put on one of the monos, if they put on one of the Eastons, that would also be a great selling point, but it depends on how they do it. But yes, the banner itself is going to suck, but again, the unit isn't bad, and the roster we had last time was also pretty good. So it depends on what they put for the festival units. Can't be a light or dark unit, so you already lost those. But again, other festival units could include Fez King if you need that. They could go, I'm probably going to say it's Old King, Lost Vid Meliodas and stuff like that, because we haven't seen them in a very long time, okay? They haven't really touched a banner for a little bit, so I expect a little bit more of a crappier Fez roster, just because I think that they're going to bring them back after so long. So again, we'll see. You can see Merlin on this too. Again, yes, he was recently there on the vote banner, but you could see Merlin here too. Would be great. You, again, if it's Holy War, you see Esterosa, you see that set of roster. But then again, if it is a Sin roster or Sin Fez, boom, Sins are going to be on the festival area. So there is that. That is what you should, again, keep in the back of your head. I'm not going to even show you Merlin's because Merlin's was so old that most of the units weren't even in the game, the good ones. So like at that point, it was just a not too great banner. And it's just, it wasn't an area where, again, this could be, remember also, you got to keep this in mind in the back of your head too. Right after this last year, you had the Demonic Beast unit release. So that's going to screw you completely. You had other things drop. So this is why DN also became such an L to summon for. Because around that point, they had so much stuff back to back. This year, you just went through 3 massive things back to back to back, okay? And I don't think that people are going to be ready for this in a way. Again, skimming this, we'll see what happens. But there's potential also on what character they do. I don't know how they're going to do it, but if it is a Holy War, which the last 2 clearly weren't, it was Merlin and it was the end. Clearly, those are not Holy Wars. Just remember that usually September isn't a Holy War either. This is, again, a Sin. Back then was Gother. Where the Holy War lands is the 28th of July, right? Because Meli counts theoretically as a Holy War unit in a way, to where that is your Holy War. So I think and I believe that we won't see if Mael was a character till potentially May. Because this May was Elizabeth. The May before that, I think, was Purgatory Bond. So again, both were Sins. So let's see if Mael is a character. Again, I personally want him to become a light character just because he deserves it. He's been gone for so long, he deserves to be light. And if they were to do it, they can put him in May. It would work. I would like to see him in May. I just think that if they were to release Mael now, he'll definitely be a red, blue, or green because you just went a light into a dark into a light. It's a bit rough. So for that reason, we'll see how they actually handle the unit itself. But again, I talked about it. It's Sacred Treasure Bond. It's Demon King Zeldris, Demon King Meliodas, Mael. They could do a new king. Kind of king had 2 units. I don't think he'll get one, but probably, Gother, Bond deserve one for the reason they only have 2 units. So there is that. Elizabeth has her 2, or I said 2, but I meant 1, right? 1 unit. It's just Purgatory Bond, and it's just Fez Gother. So we could see like a new Gother. You could see a new, again, Sacred Treasure Bond. You could see Arthur. Chaos Arthur at some point has to happen. So there are some units they have left in the game to get through, but we'll see how they put them and how they kind of schedule them. We know, again, as I mentioned this in a previous video, this is the end of the game. Basically, the end of the main story, right? So with that, 6 festivals. You got to line up 6 festivals in a perfect way to where you can transition and just at least give each one some sort of like spotlight or shine, because some of them have been just neglected heavily. For example, Camilla's just a unit neglected heavily. Where the hell is she? So yes, prepare, stop summoning for Freya, give up, head over and just wait and see what happens with the actual festival. We will know, and remember, February 25th, or rather this year, what is it going to be? February 23rd will be the stream, and the 22nd will be the, or rather 22nd will be the stream, 23 will be the banner release. You'll know about it 3 days prior, so on Sunday, you'll know what it is, if it is a stream or what it is. So again, stay tuned for the 19th. That's when you get most of your information. You will know what the Valentine's banner looks like on the 6th. So this upcoming Monday into Tuesday, you'll kind of know what it is. Depending on time zones, different. But we do have a few days till then, so stay tuned. I'll let you know what happens and what's going on. But again, be ready for the Global Festival. They are pretty good, so skipping them might suck. It might suck.